Today we are going to be taking a break from all those crazy Russian players and stepping back and thinking, what if? More specifically, what if Marc Savard had never gotten injured? Would he still be both playing in the NHL today, and at what kind of performance level? First off, let's review. Marc Savard was drafted all the way back in the 1995 NHL draft by the New York Rangers with the 91st overall pick. Savard has made his way through various NHL teams in his early career, going from the New York Rangers, the Calgary Flames, the Atlanta Thrashers, and most notably the Boston Bruins. Technically the Florida Panthers and now the New Jersey Devils, but for obvious reasons I won't count those. Savard started to begin his breakout seasons in Atlanta playing alongside Danny Heatley and Ilya Kovalchuk, scoring 52 points in 45 games during the 03-04 season. He then busted out back-to-back 95-plus point seasons, one with Atlanta and one with Boston, with almost 70 assists each year. Savard was an incredible playmaker during his time. He finally also made his Stanley Cup playoffs debut in 07-08, eventually scoring the overtime winner versus Montreal in Game 3 of Round 1. He would score 6 points in the series, but would be eliminated by the Habs in Game 7. Savard's struggles would continue both in the playoffs and with injuries. Eliminated in Game 7 the following year by the Hurricanes, a broken foot and right knee injury in the 09-10 season, and then finally the beginning of Savard's downfall with concussions. On March 7th, 2010, Savard suffered a grade 2 concussion in the third period of the Boston Bruins game against the Pittsburgh Penguins after getting a shoulder to the head from Matt Cook, who would not be suspended or fined for the hit at all. The hit and its aftermath were part of the key evidence that caused the NHL to institute a new rule that more heavily penalized blindside hits. Savard recovered enough to be cleared to play for the 2010 postseason against the Philadelphia Flyers after their victory against the Buffalo Sabres, but my Flyers fans know how that series ended. Savard was diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome during the subsequent offseason, missing the first 23 games of the 2010-2011 season. Despite eventually returning, Savard's performances were quite muted. On January 23, 2011, Savard suffered a second concussion on a hit by former Bruin Matt Hunwick in a game against the Colorado Avalanche. On February 8, 2011, the Bruins opted to shut Savard down for the rest of the season after he received his second concussion in 10 months. The Bruins went on to win the Stanley Cup, defeating the Vancouver Canucks in 7 games. Savard's name was technically not supposed to be automatically included on the cup due to not having played the required number of games, but the Bruins petitioned the league and it was eventually included. On August 31st, 2011, it was announced that Savard had been shut down for the 2011-2012 season by GM Peter Chiarelli. Chiarelli was quoted as saying, "Based on what I see, what I hear, what I read, and what I'm told, it's very unlikely Marc will ever play again." Marc has not played since the last concussion issues, and his contract has been traded since twice to both Florida and New Jersey. It's hard to tell how good of a player Marc Savard could have continued to be if he didn't get bit by the injury bug so many times. But today, we'll find out in NHL 17. So thanks to some help on Twitter, we determined that if Marc Savard was still playing hockey to this date, his overall would roughly be around an 83-84 overall, dropping only 4 overalls from his last playable season in NHL 11. So I increased his stats, mainly focusing on his offensive playmaking stats to get him up to halfway between an 83 and an 84. We'll be putting Marc Savard back onto the Boston Bruins and placing him on the third line in the middle between Matt Bolesky and Ryan Spooner. After a very mediocre first half of the season, the Bruins turned it up in the second half and finished with the second seed in the Atlantic Division with a record of 42, 29, and 11. Marc Savard would also not miss a beat, putting up 16 goals, 36 assists for 52 points and a +8. Third line time and not the best line mates, Savard proved he can still get it done. However, the Bruins would lose in round 1 to Austin Matthews' Toronto Maple Leafs in 6 games. Side note, why have all my simulations ended in the first round so far this year? Pretty weird. Injuries are tough in sports, and Marc Savard is a perfect example of how they can really put a damper on one's career. But at least we got him some retribution in NHL 17 simulation, and he's enjoying himself in the game right now, grinding out those EASHL games. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As always, if you guys haven't seen my previous simulation videos, make sure you go check those out as well, and leave some suggestions for what you guys would like to see next in the comments down below. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.